Worlds has concluded, and congratulations to Kwanmei for joining the company of Title and Dish Soap as a 2-time world champion. However, the final lobby featured another interesting player, Stilo of Bora here from the Korean region, and if we take a look at his tournament history, you might notice that previously to playing into this Worlds, he had only played in Set 16 Tacticians Cups and the Space Gods Tacticians Trial and obviously the Regionals, but hasn't been featured in the TPC before. So essentially this set he made a run from placing 8th in the first trials all the way to the final lobby of Worlds and managed to finish in the middle of pack, tying for 4th and 5th place with 27 points. Therefore, for today, we're going to be jumping in a final lobby game with him to investigate what led to his success. We are playing in an upgraded 1-cost encounter with Varus and Soraka gods. Our upgraded 1-cost is this Cho'Gath, and we have immediately picked up a Lysandra too. Definitely one of the units that can lead to many of these lines. Any form of AP flex line can even transition into Space Groove. Consider playing around that LeBlanc, which is also very prominent. And if we get some mana item and maybe natural more copies of this Cho'Gath, could consider playing around with him as well. Our spot at the moment would most likely be a Stone Plate Slam. We have held onto these Primordians as if we hit a Briar. Another great opener that can lead down to many of your AD lines, plus those extra econ is just amazing. And holding onto this team of our Shepherd pairing, have a potential for a strong board, have to scout around to see what others are playing. We noticed there were quite a few Lysandras pulled out as well already. Pandora's items, generally we're going to be picking this up to accelerate our item situation. We have a strong Stone Plate Slam, and then maybe we could look something to pair with the sword or fish for a better item. Makeshift armor here is something you're going to be clicking most likely on 3-2 if you don't have any frontline items. On 2-1, if you have a very strong board, you can click it as well. Then you're able to just simply load up on the damage items and itemize one tank eventually. Flowing Tears would give us a potential to slam either of these mana items. I would assume that the Stoneplate plus Spear of Shojin would be the best pairing for us to tempo into any kind of a line we wanted to. And probably what we're going to be defaulting. He seems to agree. Gragas Hero Augment, kinda hard to pull off. You need Synthetic Implants, you need to have a high roll spot, and then you can aim for that win out and Warpath. You take this if you think the rest of the lobby is bad. We're looking at 8th best players in this set. Well, arguably best players. Therefore, he's probably, as an underdog, not going to be considering it. We are now probably... We slammed this tier on the Cho'Gath. We have the decision to make. If you wanted to play in this Cho'Gath 3-roll, Protector's Vow theoretically is going to be the better item. You definitely want to be slamming mana item onto this Cho'Gath already on stage 2, just so he can start stacking, get those takedowns, get that HP, as that is the win condition you're receiving for this comp. We are scouting around. I think... yeah, we are going to be going with Spear of Shojin Stoneplate. The Spear of Shojin, completely great transition later onto this... Lysandra, and specifically since we don't have Replicator and we want this Cho'Gath stacking right away, we are going to be putting this mana item on him. And we scouted around. It seemed that the rest of the lobby was not playing around this Cho'Gath. This is the one why it's so hard to, in high elo, actually play around this Cho'Gath, is that you need to be hitting him very early on in stage 3. You don't want other players to be holding the extra copies. You know, he needs to spike, he needs to get to the 3-star, needs to pick these takedowns and snowball his HP lead. We were nicely able to already make 10 here, and this is going to be one of the cases where Flowing Tears, which might be considered a little bit of a weaker augment, is combat-wise is going to do great, because the Cho'Gath is going to drag the fights out, and the mana gen is going to greatly benefit both him and the Lysandra. Also, a quick note on why the VOD quality might appear a little bit lower is that I had to jump through some hoops to pull this from the Korean streaming websites without any buffering or loading issues. But I think it looks fine and we're still going to be able to appreciate this game and his performance. But haven't naturaled any Cho'Gaths just yet, haven't managed to pick up an extra Lysandra copying, hoping to hold on potentially for this Vanguard. Let's see if he's going to invest another gold to hold on to them. Nope, he's going to seem to committing. Our loss streak gets... our win streak, sorry, gets broken, and so we're going to consider we want to make these econ intervals and do not want to be pushing, trying to invest the gold to potentially play for a streak and then transition to an AP line. Belt here, amazing, lovers. It's, well, 4 gold about. We do not really fish for 3 costs. And Belt is amazing item in this line. Can pick up a rod immediately. I think the rod has the most uses for us right now. We have the mana item, so we're looking for fish probably for a JG as the next item to complete. But then the rods, we can use multiples of. We can make it Rabadons, we can make obviously the Morellos, Spark in the worst case as well. And you can see in his team plan, he's put in 4 Darkstar. I believe that the way you approach this line is playing definitely 4 Brawler, at least for this Cho'Gath, to receive the amount necessary for the HP, and then 4 Darkstar to get this extra stats. That is going to be your natural progression, in my opinion. 4 Brawler, then into the 4 Darkstar. But let's see how he manages to approach it. And yeah, the belts, obviously, Warmog's great, Morello's great, even any kind of durability, I don't like Spirit Visage are great. Natural couple of more copies here. Econ situation looking quite fine. Maybe if we lose another round here, we maybe have a potential for the Anvils. Is he going to be benching to just guarantee this loss streak? No, we definitely want to keep the Cho'Gath stacking. So we queue into Soju, who's also tempoing here around the Bastion emblem and the utility slams, still remaining quite flexible between that, but most likely ending up in this his beloved Porky line here with giving the units he's holding on to. And depends on this fight from A-Long. Is A-Long going to be winning or losing? We might get a couple of components. Alright, we're going to get 1 component, and well, that's completely fine. 5 Cho'Gaths, this is the angle here. This is where you're going to be saying, hey, I can actually play this Cho'Gath for reals. I do not need to be trying to transition into anything else. And also, through the cells that we didn't hold on to any other extra units. We are angling this possibility. Find another rod and picking up another tier immediately. Slamming Spirit Visage instead of Protector's Vow. Wanting to kill off this belt. That's an interesting choice in my opinion. I would imagine we wanted the Protector's Vow, then we could transition the Spear of Shojin, and then keep the open belt. But we can see how aggressively he just opted to roll down on this level 4. Just trying to, because we got close to this Cho'Gath, we were opting to fully push this here. And now we are facing a decision. Are we going to be staying level 5, fishing for this Lysandra 3 duo carry, or maybe trying to transition to a Karma duo carry? That is also an interesting choice. Nonetheless, we're going to be keeping the Spear of Shojin just now, for now, onto this Cho'Gath. Maybe looking to transition as we didn't have the turns to execute, but we're facing a Norn with the 3 items and a Radiant. Cannot, unfortunately, just get through him. We do not bet as long. Bronze for life is something that I am not sure this comp can really fit, right? You want those verticals, you want those possibilities. Tiniest Titan, we have just spiked. We are trying to tempo now and rebuilding that HP lead. We are at 73, it's completely fine. Wand Overflow is appealing, but we do not we have rods and rods. And I don't think, well, double death cap is a build we could be going for this Lysandra, but then we need another AP duo carry Karma then. I'm not sure if this is going to be the most value. We also want to improve our Cho'Gath item situation. We want to find that 3rd item for it as fast as we can, and Crown Guard is not a slime I would want to be going for here. Therefore, Pandora's is kind of appealing, but it's now going to come down to a gamble. Are we going to get a usable Radiant right away, right? This is our spike window. Stage 3 is where we want to be spiking, and we would probably have to high roll. The Wand Overflow is the safe choice. New Recruit. This allows us to slot in 6 Darkstar faster, or that we're able to get there. But we would still need to Jin since we do not have Emblem. This is win out with simply unclickable for ourselves. It's great augment if you are in an amazing spot to be going for this, and then fast 9 on something like 4-2 and go for a win out, or 4-5 if you have enough HP, manage to preserve it during stage 3. So now with our choices here, we have to be just going for this Pandora's, and Radiant Hodge is something that we can't use. In my opinion, right now we do not even have a JG to, if we wanted to tempo pair with it. Going to transition the Spear of Shojin onto this Lysandra. Also interesting that during our roll, oh no, we hold on to Replicator, my bad. Nonetheless, we managed to find this Pantheon and going to be slotting in the 2 time breakers right now. If we find it, I don't think we want to be, I mean, we had to roll deep, so our econ intervals are a little broken. Is this going to be another place where if you find an Ezreal, we might be playing around 3 time breaker for the potential tempo? Okay, roll once, immediate Void Staff completion, immediate Radiant Protectors. Wow, that is the best item you can find for this Cho'Gath. He had the foresight to be slamming the Spirit Visage for durability with his, also maybe durability synergizes simply better with these with this Stone Plate. But this is going to be amazing. This is going to allow this Cho'Gath to stack really high, especially given how fast we managed to hit this Cho 3. Making our econ intervals, and let's see if we're going to be rolling. Blessing of Size, it's 350 HP. Once this Cho'Gath was going to be reaching thousands by now, given how early we hit and have that Radiant Vow. But this, again, this is the 3 cost you own and a 2 cost a shared trait or something. This Mara's Blessing is just not good, in my opinion. So we probably have to go with Blessing of Size. Like, 350 HP is not much for this Cho'Gath and generally wouldn't be considered as much, but hey, it's better than whatever the Varus is offering there. Even though our econ situation is a little bit lower, it's combat power that we're seeking for and we can make use of. So when we can make the Cho'Gath even bigger, right? They say size in TFT doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does. First, it looks cool. Second of all, it can mess with melee unit targeting. For example, in this Cho'Gath case, when he grows large enough, he can sometimes not have to walk a hex to bite. But my worrisome part is that we have this stall and we're fully relying onto this Cho'Gath to get through these units right now. This Lysandra 2 is starting to heavily fall off at this point of the game. And thankfully this Cho'Gath, we are fighting Hwanmei here who is sacking, so we are in a fine spot to be pushing. Also, we're holding on to the Shepherd units as that transitions our mid-game, but do we have this? Yeah, we have the Mordekaiser still on bench, but haven't even found Mordekaiser 2. Going to be pushing levels here, it seems. So this is signaling to me that we're probably playing around the Karma duo carry, since we're still holding on to these extra copies of this Lysandra, right? In case we do find Lysandra 3, she can still be a great carry, but I don't think we're going to be rolling at this point anymore, unless we are planning to roll on level 6 maybe for... Well, that would be Pantheon 3 that is kind of necessary, and 2-cost duo carry, we do not have extra items really either. Well, Cho'Gath able to clean this up quite nicely, dropped it a little bit lower there, but thankfully we have 3 items on us, so it's doing quite fine. Are we going to be considering slamming this? I mean, obviously we have to wait to see our item drops before we decide if we want to be investing this rod into the death cap here, because we are currently, well, we have the glove, so I assume we're immediately going to be slamming this Hand of Justice. Did not like anything else, but we just pretty much returned to the same item situation we had before. Going to be aggressively pushing levels here to slot in that Shepherd. Keeping only... No, we have the 4 Brawler there, right? So 4 Brawler, 3 Shepherd. This is going to be what leads us to a transition of more Darkstar units. We can see we're holding on to this Mordekaiser on the bench, and then on level 8 we could be playing around 4 Darkstar, 4 Brawler if we wanted to. And if we high roll, Jin can consider the possibility of swapping over to the 6 Darkstar board. But this is a tough call, right? Depending on if you have the items for the Karma, you are going to be considering the possibility of playing 6 Darkstar, in my opinion, before level 9. Well, that's a tough call. Let's see how he approached it. Line up. I think this is lineup. Generally, it could be good because we're having a lot of frontline presence. If it's Corrosion, it's not that bad either. Best Friends, now that it gives both armor and magic resists, is quite good of an augment to be playing around, both in silver and gold versions. Electro Charge could pump even more damage into this Cho'Gath. It's great whenever you have this super front-loaded super tank that gives you just essentially another extra damage source, and all the rest of the frontline units can provide a little bit of an extra damage. That would be my opinion that we're going for. Ascension though, Cho'Gath stalls, Cho'Gath ascends, Cho'Gath bite them. Going to be quite strong. I don't think we want extra components. Ideally, we would find an econ augment here. Since our win streak again gets broken, we are looking a little bit on the streak part. That would be with picking charge transfer, though. I don't think... I mean, Cho'Gath has a potential for overkill, but since we only have a Lysandra 2, might not be the most power, and Ascension simply is the strongest of the combat augments we have right now. And... yeah, we're going to be chilling here, making this Morello, just putting it on Misty, since she has the possibility to spread this as she hits the whole full row. And we pretty much, well, I mean, if we were to level on 4-5, it would be still a little bit, we would be quite poor. And this is the case of what happens if you are opting to not reroll 4 to this Lysandra. You might be losing on tempo, and since we have so much frontline presence, we simply do not have any form of damage. Playing around with the idea of playing around the Voyager and having the Rastin for even more survivability purposes and a little bit more damage for this Lysandra. Thankfully, Q into Li Shao here, who is on 1 stars, So hopefully we're able to kill enough units. Pretty much our whole game plan up to this point has been heavily in the running around this Cho'Gath, and that has allowed him to stack up quite a lot right now. He's just getting these takedowns, right? Getting takedowns for this Cho'Gath does allow him to stack even higher. Now for ourselves, we have the super parting gift. We are in the middle of the pack, so we might see only one forecast, if any. But and this belt can, now that we have Pandora's, we can maybe transition into something else. I think we are completely fine with the item situation we have right now. But we're going to be picking up the belt and just trying to reroll for another potential duo carry item setup, I would assume. And going, yeah, picked up the Lowy 2 there, but we immediately saw the Lowy in the shop. Going to, haha, so like he's going to be going with double durability onto the Cho'Gath, triple mana item Cho'Gath, and reroll just the stone plate. Since we have so much presence, this makes sense. This definitely makes sense, since we have so many frontline units, and also with 6 Darkstar we're going to have so much frontline presence. This stone plate is going to be losing out in value. Therefore, having just more mana is going to allow this Cho'Gath to stack more, and more durability is going to allow him to stall longer till he's going to be able to hit that ascension right there. And at this point, you can see we have to delay the level 8 all the way to 5-1. We haven't naturaled any of other Darkstar units, and the worrisome part is that a lot of karmas might be pulled out by these other AP flex players. We can see here, for example, that this ASOL player here has pulled out that Lissandra, but it's Karma, and we are not really close to the Lissandra 3 either, right? Keeping a couple of copies on level 8 is going to be real tough. Thankfully, this Cho'Gath has grown quite big. And what are we looking for completing our items? Spear of Show. I'm interested to see how we're going to complete this. This is a Spear of Shojin. We're going to be leveling. We have this Nami to be playing around. Not opting to play around this Nami. We're opting to just index again more on this frontline presence. Have the possibility to make a Mighty Mech too. Going to be going with that, but then we are poor and do not have anything else to be going for. Dropping down to the 2 Brawlers. Find a single Karma, thankfully. Now that we're going to have a little bit more frontline value in, more backline presence that actually can provide damage. Going to go with Adaptive Slam and leave a belt open, but we have both Voice Staff and Morelos, so... And I don't think we want to be maybe... I mean, Warmogs is the best bet we could be going for. We have a duplicator though, so we're actually not that far from the Lissandra. Missed that part a little bit earlier on. If we find a single Lissandra, we have definitely the Lissandra 3 to be going with. But again, we're a little bit poor. Now, thankfully, we also have this double dip from in HP from the Soraka right now that is going to make this Cho'Gath even a little bit bigger. And now that he has grown in size, he's pretty much still remaining as the primary carry of our line. Don't manage to dodge the side from the LeBlanc. LeBlanc is one of these units that can definitely take out these heavy single target focus units, especially with the Blitz pairing right there. Once she ramps, she's doing a lot of single target damage. And thankfully, the Cho'Gath makes to her just in time for us to be able to clean up the fight against Li Xiao. And I don't think we're that... Are we... I mean, we have this 43 HP. With the Soraka healing, we could be sacking the rest of the stage at this point, and now we pick up these 2 rounds to maybe try to go for level 9. Have to see how this is going to work out. Trying to attack the weak sides again to get even more stacks, but unfortunately now we're on the same side as this Aurelion Soul. He's going to be beaming right away at our Cho'Gath, and the HP bar is overlapping, so we cannot exactly see how he's performing. He has started to clean up the whole of the front line, makes it to the back line just in time again on this little sliver of HP, and is cleaning up. He is definitely going more and more massive each turn. Are we going to pick up a JG here? I mean, this Gunblade is a slam that I'm not excited about. Finally, that last Lissandra. JG comes back. I'm definitely not hot onto this Gunblade, but I mean, it allows for us to play into this stall plan of getting to the Ascension part. But I don't know. The Riven gets eaten by Cho'Gath, playing here against K3 Soju, who is on his last life. This is going to spell doom for him as he didn't have it right on the Rammus, and we're going to be able to pick up the fight. Seems like he went for the last second swap, it didn't exactly work out. But yeah, you can see whenever we get these super stat scaling, these fight dragging augments, particularly Ascension, the players seem to be heavily indexing onto the frontline presence, and 3 Voyager is a meaningful spike that we opted to go for, deviating from that standard version of playing around 4 Brawler. Simply because we found this Mighty Mech 2 that can also help this Cho'Gath to stall, because he's should be treated as a damage unit right now. However, here the Nami splash is present, and the Blitzcrank knockup is also a scary part for our Cho'Gath. Nonetheless, he manages to stall long enough, and the HP gen is coming in, right? And he's once we hit the flowing tears, the mana tears, we are just eating everything alive at the end of the stages, and we have managed to save up, econ up the rest of the stage, and we should be on the possibility of pushing that level 9, hitting the Jin spike, and that is where this comp starts to compete with the best. The hard part is getting there. Hard part is actually preserving the HP, hitting early on for this Cho'Gath to reach that point. Going to be pushing level 9, slotting in just this Aurora for a 4th Voyager for now as well. Finding Jin on a couple of rolls can be quite tricky. Also sitting here under this Karma pair, so we are definitely have this HP that we can sack for us to try to achieve the extra spikes that we need to put up proper competition against here. And this Cho'Gath continues to impress, like with the size he has right now. I wouldn't be calling this Lissandra carry. I've been saying this the whole game, but Cho'Gath is the main star of this comp right now. And quite often you would say that this is Lissandra is putting in the work, and at least in my experience it has been the case, but with these conditions he has managed to hit. This Cho'Gath is the true star. Triple Wow Nunu here from Jedusor. The ult goes well, and this Zaya also, he has the Jin 2 that he's holding on to, so, and he's going to gaining maximum sniper value against ourselves, so we're definitely on the other side that we wanted to be. Our backline gets cleaned up, and now these snipers are going to be going against the raid boss, and it seems that like they're going to be cleaning up, and our streak finally gets broken. We find the Jin finally, going to be slotting in the 6 Darkstar, giving up onto this Mighty Mech here to just keep the Shepherds. Is that the right play? He seems to believe so, and I guess we just transition the items to the Alawi. Now against the Space Group player here from the Bensak. And the Cho'Gath is going to again receive the splashes, get hit by the Blitzcrank, but this immense shield from the Protector's Vow kicks in, keeping him even more durable, and we're going to be able to clean up the fight. And Bensak here sitting on 6 ribbons. And a lot of gold, so let's see, we are able to pick up a TG, and now, oh, that's an insane TG for our Jin, and that's a Riven 3 coming in from Bensak, and I will just want to show you something right now. So here we're going to be looking at the roll down from Bensak. He's at 6 copies of Riven, finds the 7th, Tom Kench prints him extra gold, another Riven, and 2 more rolls, finding that last Riven, hits Riven 3 in just few rolls, a lot less than you would expect. Didn't even need to downgrade really anything just to hit it. So now we are going to be facing the real fight of Jedusor, and pretty much this is going to decide who in this game is going to be going second. Bensak is not going to have any problems with that Riven 3. We are minimizing the sniper value through this Cho'Gath being right in the right side. Jedusor didn't go for that swap. That allows us to clean up the fight and lock in pretty much our 2nd place placement, unless this Cho'Gath has grown so large that he can actually eat the Riven 3 alive. We are going to be going once again against Jedusor's Ghost. That means Jedusor is going to be facing the Bensak, and that is going to end the game. I do not think there's any variation of matchmaking that could have changed the outcome after that last fight. Therefore, we can pretty much go to our fight to game recap. You could see immediately trying to play around maximum mana generation around that Cho'Gath in the earlier parts of the game. Committed perhaps a little bit earlier for my taste without seeing that many copies of the Cho'Gath, but since we had good tempo, good stacking, we were able to go for it, roll very deep on level 4 to get this Cho'Gath rolling as soon as we could. Identified that we're still lacking in the item situation. Thankfully hit that Radiant Protector's Vow, that is the best item in a single roll. Didn't hang on the level 5 to roll for this. The Lissandra tree is opting to instead push levels that is crucial for this comp to reach the level 9 and the 6 Darkstar for it to compete against some of the best boards in the game. Arrived there, thankfully got a duplicator from this guy that allowed us to complete this Sandra tree and played around this Karma as a duo carry. Now we're going up against this Riven tree. She still has that rogue reset she also was looking for, and we simply do not have enough damage. She's going to clean up our Cho'Gath. We're going to be going against another round against her, but now he's hitting also Shentu. The fight is quite one-sided. I do not think there's any positioning tricks that we could be going for. Yes, we can go for the opposite side, maybe try to kill off the other units and then try to refocus fully on this Riven. Unless we burst her down somehow, it's going to be quite tough. Nonetheless, she's going to be quite durable with that HP restoration from the Space Groove, as well as having that rogue proc. The Cho'Gath aided her that she dropped low, but the rest of our board has been cleaned up due to the splash damage, and that's going to give us the second place finish. I would like to thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something new, and I wish to see you in the next one. Have a good one.